connections in the world of PR, which led me to doing digital marketing, which led to events in marketing, and then most recently digital marketing. So my first job in this space was actually with a small after-school program in Saline. And then I worked with Arbor Brewing Company at their Ypsilanti location as their marketing and events manager. And then in the world of tech at an e-commerce agency in Ann Arbor called Human Element. I was there for about 6 years. And then I most recently made the move over to KarmaJack.
Awesome. That's definitely quite the journey. Like it's just completely into writing all the way into marketing. So that's pretty cool. Very, very neat journey right there.
Yeah. And speaking of KarmaJack, tell us about the duties and responsibilities of your role as an account director at KarmaJack.
Sure. So KarmaJack is a full-service digital marketing agency. We do everything from technical SEO to Google Ads, social ads, and everything in between and beyond. So my role here as the director of accounts is to support sales, onboarding, and our account management team. Which really just means that I spend a lot of time on Zoom calls and I tell everybody how awesome they are every day. And that's really like the dream for any director of accounts, so that you have such an amazing team that you can just be like, keep being awesome. And just know that you have somebody to walk through the fire with you if you need it. But it is largely a support role for those teams.
So Cole, could you tell us, you said you're doing things like support roles with different teams and things like that. So like, could you tell us about a challenging project that you worked on so far at KarmaJack, or anywhere in your history if you'd like? And what hurdles did you have to overcome to get a successful outcome?
Sure. That is an awesome question. So I actually thought about this a little bit earlier because I thought that you might ask me something similar to this. I think that's because that question gets asked in every interview, no matter what the interview is. So pro tip, know the answer to that question if you're ever being interviewed. But as I was thinking about this earlier, I realized that I think the most value I could bring in answering this question would actually not be about a specific project. It would be more of a conceptual challenge that I'm faced, that I feel like a lot of people face. So I'm going to go like a little bit off script, but I promise it's helpful.
Totally fine. Go for
it. Good. So not a project, more of a conceptual interpersonal challenge. So as a coach and as a leader within an organization, I feel like one of the hardest things that we have to do is to let go of control of things and to let people thrive or fail. And I think that that's really tough a lot of times, especially when you're in a space where you care about the people that you work with because you want to make sure that you're supporting them. And oftentimes we don't realize going into that, that by holding on too tightly, we are often bringing about the beginning of failure, whether it's for a specific project or for a person. For example, I had a guy on my team, and he was learning SEO for the first time. And that is a strength of mine. He's super, super smart guy. He was absolutely phenomenal addition to the team. He picked things up really quickly and he learned things fast and retained it. He was a dream. But he was learning everything for the very first time. And I remember one day in a check-in, he told me, I want to be like you. I want to be like our director of operations. I want to be like our director of sales. And he was measuring his own success by how well he shaped himself to be like another human being. And I realized that in that conversation. And I realized that as a leader, I was stifling his growth. I was stifling his ability to be successful because he was putting himself in these situations where he wasn't going to be successful, because he was putting himself in a position that he felt like he needed to be because it was something that he saw me do or he saw someone else do it. And instead of honoring and acknowledging his own strengths and his own capabilities as a person, even if he didn't know the subject as well, he was putting himself in those positions where he couldn't be successful because it's not something that he would do. It's not something that he would put himself into, and it's not the way that he would address something. And it was a really, really awesome, insightful moment for me to see the kind of pressure and the kind of focus that I had put on this individual who was like so much more thoughtful than me and so much more capable in so many ways in areas that he wasn't honoring and acknowledging of himself. And so I feel like that's the really big takeaway. And that's something that's so, so important just in a professional space, is that as you're growing, as I'm growing, that we're really like honoring and acknowledging the pieces of us that make us unique and allowing those things to bolster us and bring about growth rather than just comparing yourself to others who you feel to be successful.
I definitely feel that. That's really something that to say that, because you have to learn from your failures. That's actually something here at the clinic that Bud says a lot. You have to learn fail faster. So it's definitely something that is pretty powerful for sure. Sure.
Yeah. All right. Cole, when working with new hires, how much do you give new team members to onboard?
So we do not have a set time in which a person has to be completely onboarded at KarmaJack. We have an absolutely amazing onboarding program, which I attribute entirely to our COO and Director of Operations. It is weeks of like really like awesome videos and hands-on trainings. And those are uniquely assigned per the role as people come in. And so everyone goes through those onboarding trainings, but it's not like we just like throw people into the churning sea immediately after they finish their last video. Onboarding at that point is really all about positioning to while also feeling successful and knowing that actually feels different for every person.
Gotcha. I think we're kind of losing you a little bit, Cole. Are you there?
Oh no, I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
The internet, it cut out for a couple seconds there. So.
Uh-oh. Do you need me to
Let's
go
hope
back?
it doesn't drop.
Fingers crossed.
If you can maybe repeat what you just said, kind of maybe like 5-6 seconds ago or something like that.
Sure. So I was just saying that we have a really phenomenal onboarding program that includes a lot of like hands-on trainings and videos, and everyone is given a just got notification that our power is being serviced. So that may be.
Oh, well, let's hope lights don't go out.
So fingers crossed. This ice storm is getting Ann Arbor pretty bad. But after a new member of the team joins and they go through all of the onboarding, that doesn't mean that we just like throw them into the churning sea. At that point, it's all about transitioning people into a functional space where they also are successful, are positioned to be successful, and also feel successful. So we recognize that that looks different for every person.
I see. So when managing relationships with clients, as you said, like the Zoom cheerleader and stuff like that, what are the best ways that you think help maintain those relationships?
Another awesome question. So I think that there are a lot of things that are very, very important when you're talking about successful relationships, especially in the client space, especially when you work with an agency. The two most important things that I think you have to give to any kind of engagement or task or whatever it may be when you're looking at managing and creating thriving client relationships is honesty and transparency, because no one expects you to be perfect. No client you ever have in a digital marketing space will expect you to be perfect. And if they do, they're trash. And sometimes you have trash clients, but like nobody reasonable will ever expect for you to be perfect. They do expect you to care. And I think that's the most important thing that we need to do in that space as agency partners, is to make sure that we are being honest and transparent. Because if you mess up and you own it, that is going to mean so much more than if you try to cover it up or you shape the data to paint a picture that's more favorable. It shows that you care. And at the end of the day, in marketing, I think a lot of times we forget that we are directly impacting a person's livelihood. Sometimes, especially in small business, their marketing is what's going to help their business grow or could put their business in the grave. And when you get to an enterprise level, you're playing with millions of dollars. I still don't know why some people trust me with their money. But it's important that you remember that. It's important that you keep in mind that these aren't that's not monopoly money. And aligned with that, I think it's really important that we treat our clients like people. If you go into every conversation, every email, every Slack message, every time you're engaging with a client, with empathy, you can't go wrong. Because it's not monopoly money, it's their business, and it's important to keep that in mind. And so when you're walking into a meeting, that means that you're walking in with understanding that if your client's upset, it's probably for a good reason, and they're not mad at you. They might be mad at you, but they're afraid. It's empathy. When you're doing a task for a client, you don't have to be the owner of a B2B brewery equipment manufacturer to know how the owner of a brewery equipment manufacturer thinks. You can put yourself in their shoes. And so I think it's just those things, is making sure that you're going into those things with honesty and transparency and empathy. You can't go wrong.
Some great advice. Great advice in the business world and personally. So thank you on that one.
Mhm.
All right, so we're going to run into some user questions. So Morgan, if you want to take away some of our user questions, go for it.
Yeah. There's this first question by Bud Gibson. You were into journalism in college. What would you recommend for current students to take? Is it a major course or outside projects?
Hi, Bud. My recommendation, and Bud may disagree. I actually have no idea if Bud would disagree. My recommendation is to get a degree in something you care about. My degree is in cultural anthropology, and it was because I thought it was really exciting and I really enjoyed learning about it. And I was in journalism at a time that print journalism was starting to like die. Everybody was panicking, and they said not to get your degree in journalism. And the advice that I got from the advisor for the paper at WCC at the time was, get your degree in something you care about. And I did, and it worked. At the end of the day, if you get your degree in something that you're passionate about, then eventually the professional pieces could fall into place. Just make sure you finish your degree.
All right, we have another question from Bud here, and I'm actually quite curious on this one myself. It says, lately we've heard a lot about AI-driven chatbots, and we've seen the technology creeping in to add digital products. Do you have any ideas on how AI might play a role in your role?
It's going to make my role very difficult, but so AI is very smart, and I think that every day it's getting smarter, whether it is ChatGPT or just writing tools that aren't it. And I think that there is actually a lot of value in understanding them and identifying how you can utilize them for your own benefit. Because I think that a lot of times we have a tendency to fight those evolutions in technology. And I know for a long time in the digital marketing space, AI was sort of perceived as this like impersonal bot. And they're smarter than that now. And so how I think that this is going to impact it is, or impact my role and impact the role of other digital marketers in this space, is that it's going to make their lives a lot easier if you let it. And so now is the time, I believe, to start informing yourself and identifying ways that you can utilize it in your day to day. Your clients will thank you for it, and your job will thank you for it.
Yeah. Sorry. So next question, from Elizabeth Lohman. She asks, what do you recommend for someone who is new to SEO?
That's an awesome question. The first thing I would do is look up a domain that you can buy for $12 off of Google Domains. Buy it off of Google Domains. It doesn't matter what it is. And then you're going to go to WP Engine and you're going to do a Google search for how to create a website with WP Engine. And you're going to invest $20 a month. Actually, it may be free now if you do just one domain. And you're going to create a WP Engine account, and you're going to learn how to set up a website and build it on WordPress. And then you're going to pick out a theme, and you can buy a free theme. It doesn't matter what the website is about. And then as you build that website, every single thing that you do, you're going to do a Google search and you're going to say, how do I optimize this? Whether it's your homepage, whether it's the meta descriptions, whether it's site speed or image compression or your robots.txt or your XML sitemap, because there's so many things. And you're going to just keep digging and digging. And as you build it and you put all of those pieces together, you're going to see what it means to actually optimize a website for SEO. And then you're going to install a plugin, and you're going to put a UA code, or actually a GA4 code in there, and you're going to set up the GA4 property, and you're going to go down a million bazillion rabbit holes, and you are going to learn everything so much faster by making that like small investment in small financial investment and like massive investment into just experiential learning than you will learn from reading 1,000 Neil Patel articles or like any SEMrush webinar. And you can test things and you can build it and see what it actually means. So do that. Go to Google Domains, find a funny domain and be like, farts are us, and buy it. And then you're going to build that website and you're going to optimize it. And you're going to learn everything you need to know.
That's pretty good. I'm going to definitely have to go over that one. Glad this is being recorded. It's all step by step. So we actually have time for one final question, and this one is from Shelby, and it says, "What is your best piece of advice for people starting out in this profession?" Me being one of them. I think this is kind of a good ending question for this here.
My one piece of advice is know that everyone needs marketing help. My first job in digital marketing was volunteering, and it was later a paid position, volunteering for an after-school program in Saline. Everybody needs marketing help. And if you're confident that you can bring value to that business, it may be that you do it for free and you're doing it for the experience, but everybody needs marketing help, and as much experience as you can get, the better.
So just get out there and just start doing it. Best way.
It helps if you know them, but like,
yes, of course that one.
yeah, like I wouldn't recommend like cold calling after school centers and telling them you'll do their marketing. But like if you're just staring at the computer screen and you're like, okay, I am graduating in 2 months and I need a job in digital marketing, Just apply for every intro level job you can find. Start talking to your parents and make sure that your parents are telling all their friends that you're graduating soon in digital marketing. Because I would bet you money that one person is like, oh, we've been talking about needing to do digital marketing better for our grocery store. And you're going to get in, and it's going to keep growing. As long as you really bring value, it's going to keep growing.
I will definitely be doing that. I'm on the clock now. All right, so that actually ends our digital live. So before we head out, I'd like to thank everyone again for watching our digital live today. Cole, thank you for being here with us. It was great having you on, talk about yourself and working with Karma Jack. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Digital Summer Clinic, so you do not miss any of the new updates. Also, our applications for the Digital Summer Clinic are currently open, so make sure you get on to applying and start investing in your future right now. It will be an amazing experience filled with making connections and bettering yourself in the real world and in the modern workplace. And to everyone watching, we'll be joined by yet another special guest next week, Shadi Mir. Shadi is the CEO of Pedestrian, and he will be on next Thursday at 6 p.m. So you won't want to miss it, and any of our other amazing guests. And to everyone watching, we will see you all here next week.